Today we're going to talk about accountability and how taking accountability in your life and assuming position of leader in your life and living your life of purpose allows you to be in bliss, allows you to be respectful, respected, and allows you to live in a reality that some spend their whole lives chasing, right? When we realize, right, that our life and the things that we do every day is a choice, right? We get out of this matrix mindset that the 9 to 5 is the only way that we'll ever survive, right? If I told you that tomorrow when you go to work, you wouldn't make money, your brain would literally go into, like, you would get so probably overstimulated and overregulated to the point where you'll be ready to crash out, because society told you, right, whether if you're aware or not, that the only reason that your job is valuable and the only reason that you're valuable is if you're going to someone else's 9 to 5. You're making someone else's dreams come true. You're funding someone else's opportunity, and you're being of service to some other individual's life, right? But the truth about that is, right, when it comes to jobs and when it comes to the matrix in general, if you stop running the rat race, right, you don't instantly just go broke. You don't instantly just fail. You don't instantly just derail. You start to see the picture being painted. See, if someone is trying to kill me, or if someone is trying to stop me, or someone is opposing anything that I have going on, my mind as a man is thinking retaliation. My mind as a man is thinking war. My mind as a man is thinking rebuttal. Like, it's always gonna think, how can I stay safe? How, you know what I'm saying, can I, as you know, we have testosterone and every man can relate to this. It's just, how can I make sure that this motherfucker doesn't hurt me more than I can hurt them? Right? And that's just the honest God truth of the situation. But when you break this shit down, it's like, if I was to tell you that you, right, setting up a plan and orchestrating something that individuals could follow, or that individual could follow as a trap to their own demise, you wouldn't have to do anything to them, right? If someone is trying to kill you and trying to oppose you, right, but this individual is very sexually undisciplined, this individual is very unaware, this individual is very much a bot, right? Your sense of retaliation that they could see coming, right, that most likely will get you killed, could be flipped on the opposite side of the spectrum, and you could use their own inhibitions against them, right? You know that for a fact your enemy will see you coming in retaliation that you see fit as a man, thinking masculine, right? But sometimes, like I said, in order to become integrated, you have to live in your masculine and feminine. And that doesn't mean you have to be feminine. What that means is when you get ideas, when you form creations, right? When you meditate, when you slow down your breathing, right? When you're allowing yourself to see the world from a third person perspective, what starts to happen is you step outside of the rat race. You step outside of trying to get rich. You step outside of trying to be successful. You step outside of trying to rebel. You step outside of trying to be this specific thing and just being it, right? You wake up every day and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am rich. You look at yourself every single day and say, I am an opportunist, right? You look at yourself in the mirror every day and you say that I am morally grounded. I'm fundamentally grounded. Because is it the truth that you working without any form of stability or foundation to get to where you're trying to go is going to get you actually to be the person that is deserving of your life and that can actually live it to its highest degree, right? Instead of you being able to know that, okay, how do I need to make money? How can I make money, right? Okay, I have an intellectual bank in my mind, right? How can I solve my problems? Right? I can start talking to myself and I can start analyzing the things that I'm doing right and wrong, or the things that need correction and don't need correction. Piggybacking off what I was saying prior, right? If an individual is trying to harm you and you know their greatest weaknesses is their self, you don't have to do anything to them, right? If I know that you're lustful, if I know that you're weak, if I know that you're dying to your flesh, right? Literally, all I got to do is set your own trap that you're going to fall into, right? Because if I'm thinking about how can I physically harm you? How can I physically do this to you? How can I physically boom, boom, boom? Nah, that's not how I'm thinking, right? I'm going to use your own inhibitions against you. And this is how the world, right, has conformed, like literally like orchestrated the matrix, right? The world has orchestrated societal views, perspectives, initiated certain events, crisis, and all of this shit, because solely they know what's gonna make a human do human things, what's gonna make a human go off their first instinct, what's gonna make a human feel like they're stuck in survival mode, because this is how they thrive. People that run this world that you don't see, they thrive off your energy. Energy is everything. This is why so many young kids, women, right, on social media, but off social media, whatever it may be, right, are so sexually invested in porn, are so sexually invested in sex, are very braggadocious about this manner. Because the ironic thing about this shit is if you can convince someone that degeneracy is edible, they'll never stop eating, right? But when you can realize that, like I was saying, if you can convince someone that their life, the things that they do, their ideals, their perspectives, right, it's all orchestrated under some form of survival, right? You'll never have to physically do anything to them. And I'm making these examples to get you to realize the power that you actually have. I'm making these videos to get you to understand that you hold the keys to your life, and you always have. Nobody else truly opens the door externally for you. Nobody else truly gives you something that you can't give yourself, right? Even conversations, wisdom, experiences, all of these things are things that you live. All of these things are interpersonal. All of these things are you looking at the world from your aspect of the lens, right? So if you live your entire life, right, pointing a finger, feeling like someone did something to you, going off of trauma, feeling like you can never be better because of the past, all of that bullshit, that's bullshit. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know how to sugarcoat it, bro. That's bullshit. And until you get out of that mindset and that way of thinking, you'll never truly be able to reap the fruits of your labor. Because what happens is when you continue to look at yourself from the perspective of you are less than, you are inferior, you will never make it, how can this be done, right? And I'll just continue to be stuck in this constant loop, waking up at this time, going to sleep at this time, working, eat, sleep, shit. What starts to happen is your reality is going to feed you what you think that you want. The American dream is a fallacy, because the American dream feeds you something that you already have internally. Think about everything that the Matrix feeds you externally. It always wants you to go outside of yourself. It never tells you to tap into what you already have. Your intuition, your connection with God, your connection with self, right? Your own emotions, your own thoughts, right? Everything in this world is designed to make you go outside of yourself. Everything in this world is designed to make you reach for something, right, that most of the time was already right in front of you. Which is why, piggybacking off what I just said about success and riches and true wealth, true wisdom, true perspective of life is all things that you experience in your time, right? There are all things that you experience while walking your journey, which is why people say the journey is the best part, because that is where you instill who you are, right? You don't find who you are, you remember who you are. You already knew who you were. You just had to remember it, right? Which is why people say they found themselves. It's really like a remembrance almost. It's like I knew who I was this whole time. I just had to remember who that person was, right? I knew I had this gift this whole time. I just had to figure out how to make it cohesively make sense, right? I had this wisdom the whole time. I just had to figure out how to bring it about, right? I knew exactly what my purpose was. I just had to remember who I was enough to unlock it and to live in it, right? Nothing above the sun, bro, is new. Nothing, right, is an original thought. We're all checking out library books, right? All of these thoughts we share, all of these emotions we share, all of this connective tissue that we have as human beings, bro, all of this shit is literally glorious. All of this shit is like, you know, just God's way of once again using us as vessels. And the earlier and faster we can understand that, is the quicker that we can truly prevail and live in alignment on how we're supposed to, right? I know when you're following your purpose and you being authentic truly, you're not being performative, you're not seeking validation, it can be very fucking lonely, right? It can be very fucking taxing. Not on your, you know, your mental and your physical, your psychological, all of these things. Because what happens is when you realize that you don't truly need the things that you always put value in, you start to go into a form of psychosis, right? When you truly realize that when you hold on to your sexual energy as a man, it makes you a god, right? By the emphasis of when you're not swayed by what society is throwing at you. And like literally, bro, it's to the point now, I ain't gonna lie, in 2026, lust is crippling so many men to where like, bro, they're damn near switching genders. And like, I ain't gonna lie, if you know, it's crazy out here, bro. It's a lot that comes behind that too, but like, it's getting to the point where like, the things that are destroying men are damn near turning them into something that they don't even know how to conceive anymore, right? And this is why I tell you, I'm like, bro, be self-aware of the conversations you have with self, that you have with people. Be aware of the energies that you surround yourself with. Be aware of the people you surround yourself with. Be aware of the food you eat. Be aware of everything, because it's not about analyzing and being like, you know what I'm saying, damn near like you about to psych yourself out. It's about paying attention and observing so that you can know and have the discernment on the actions and decisions that you need to make, right? But when you're moving day to day, being lost willingly, when you're moving day to day and feeling like you aren't enough, right? Feeling like you're broke, feeling like you fucked up, feeling like you're not where you're supposed to be, feeling like you're lazy, feeling like all of these things, right? Instead of just living, breathing, existing. Because all of the things that we get to do here, it's all a game, bro. Listen up. You gotta realize, when you hold yourself accountable, God starts to hold you accountable. When you give yourself the life that you want, by the way you think, by the way you eat, by the way you speak, by the way you interact, God recognizes that, and he starts to put everything in perspective for you. He starts to allow you to live in alignment with your highest form of thinking, with your highest form of purpose, which is why he gives each and every one of us a duty here. Each and every one of us has an assignment here. Each and every one of us has an identity here. Each and every one of us has to hold ourselves to our authenticity. We don't need to compete with societal standards. We don't need to compete with societal ideals. We don't need to compete with what the world is telling us we need to be. All we have to do is continuously keep showing up as us. Because how cliche or corny it may sound, nobody can be you, which is why we need you. Nobody can think the way you think, which is why we need you. Nobody can create the way you create, which is why we need you. But when you're looking outside of yourself for the things that you have, the internal jewels, the internal gems, the internal wealth, right? You always think you always got to go outside of yourself to get this, outside of yourself to get that, and you always end up coming short. How many people watching this video right now spend a long time chasing money, chasing women, chasing opportunities, chasing a new life, and they came up short? Because when you think something is so far away from you, it is. When you think something can't be yours, it won't. When you think something is realistically above you and you're that inferior, really, your reality will feed you that shit because you're making that the truth. So you got to ask yourself, like, bro, how much can I continue every single day to look at myself in the mirror and love me? Because once again, my decisions are going to make or break my life. Not the video I seen on YouTube, not the book I read, right? My decisions, my sole decisions every single day I wake up. Eat, sleep, or shit, bro. These decisions are mine. They're not my mother's. They're not my grandma's. They're not my father's. Fuck all that victim mentality bullshit. You're waking up every single day and making the decision to be who the fuck you want to be. That is going to fall on you. Stop blaming other people for the life that you're choosing to live. Stop blaming other people for the lame that you're choosing to be. Stop blaming other people for society literally pointing at you and telling you that you're the one, and you choosing to conform to that instead of living in that. Meaning, if I'm telling you that you're the chosen one, and instead of being who you authentically know you already are, you're going to ask me who I should be, right? You're going to try to fit into that mold. You're going to try to categorize yourself instead of just being a fucking human and existing and enjoying the human experience. I guarantee you, bro, you can make life simple. Life starts becoming much like a breath of fresh air, because life is very simple. It ain't easy because the simplicity overpowers the easy, right? It's not easy to go to the gym. It's simple. It's not easy to get rich. It's very simple, right? It's not easy to eat healthy. It's very simple, right? It's not easy to not be a gooner. It's not easy to not lust. It's not easy, right, to identify yourself and categorize yourself as a certain person and try to live up to that societal standpoint from the world's perspective and continuously try to feed the world's expectations of you. That shit is not easy, but it's simple not to. So when you can get that down pat and you really can understand what I'm saying, you already beat the matrix. You already beat the game. There is no 30 to 40 years of hard work you got to put in. There is no long term. No, all of that's bullshit. All of that's capitalist bullshit that someone's telling you to make money off of your dumbass ignorance. And I'm not saying this in any malice. I'm just being honest. When people are telling you that you got to work so fucking hard to be something, and they're still living in the fucking hometown that they've been in for the 50 years that they've been like living on earth, it's cap. Somebody's telling you that you got to be something that they never fucking been. That's cap. Somebody's trying to give you advice and give you a standpoint of life that they never lived. It's cap. Like, and I just think so many people spend their entire lives falling for that shit, bro. Live the life you want to live. Make the decisions you want to make. Be who you want to be authentically. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can be you. Nobody can stand in front of you. Nobody can take your purpose away from you. Nobody can stop the plan God has for you. Not even you. Not even your bad days. Not even your ignorance. Not even your worst, darkest, dumbest decisions. You are destined to be the greatest if you choose to be. But if you choose to be a fucking bot and let everybody tell you what the fuck you need to be and how you need to feel and how you need to do whatever the fuck you want to do, living your life that you gotta live, that's when you become the fucking lame. And that's when you never get to live the life you want to live. And you get 30, 40, 50, 60 years down the line talking about all the shit you would have did or should have did or could have did. Fuck that. We living every single day like it's the last. We loving out loud. We experiencing new things. And we on some Alon shit. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Continue to keep focusing on yourself. Continue to keep pouring into yourself. Continue to keep being the highest version of yourself. I'm out. We gone.